Can I compliment everyone since it's my last time doing it? Is that
Yeah,
something you'll allow?
yeah,
Okay,
of course.
cool. Um, yeah, whatever the order is. Oh,
Or
we popcorn it. Oh my God.
yeah, whoever wants to
Sorry.
go first.
Just go first,
I
Kenberg.
am emotionally and physically exhausted. But seriously, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you to those of you who watch it. Uh, Alex, I'm starting with you. I know, weird. Um, I'm a sap. I cry a lot at a lot of different types of media, and that's okay. That's how I am. You do such a brilliant job telling a story, and you interweave it with all the stuff that your friends came up with, and you do it so well. And I loved seeing those little elements that I didn't even really know about coming into this that just kind of came out here and there that other people gave you that you worked with and you pulled out of their story or something that occurred, weeks ago outside of the game. It's been a joy to watch. Zach, Tumult's a dick and I love him. I totally got in my own head and my ego a little bit as I am wont to do. And it's like, this guy's a dick. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is up with this guy? But he's great. I love him. Great. It's a lot of fun to be had with that character. And I love you, man. I hope you do great. I hope you experience more role playing, and I hope you have wonderful times with this game because you're really good at it. You kick ass. Coda, you're fucking hilarious. I can listen to you talk, like just comment on what is happening around you and be entertained for hours, probably. But there are also points that I've seen where you, again, role play. I'm going to compliment you on role play. There are times where I've seen you throughout this whole process where there has been like noticeable shifts for someone that doesn't know you that well. That's a thing. It's impressive to see. It's great job. And
Thanks.
as I understand, you're pretty new to this game, correct?
This is my very first D&D experience. Yeah.
Dude, it's incredible. Keep going. I hope you. There's a lot of different things to explore in this game, and
As long as everybody will have me, I plan on not leaving. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Dash. I'm doing blanket stuff. I don't know if you've noticed. This is the whole time I've been here, not just this session. Dash, you're a great person. You put a lot of effort into this show. The short amount of time that I've known you, you put a lot of effort into everything that you do, and it's amazing. It's baffling sometimes because sometimes it's like not even stuff you have to do or
like most of that map.
Right, you just do it. And to drive whatever it is that's causing it, whether it's drive or it's no, it's drive. It's drive. You are a driven person. You do a lot for this show, and it's yeah. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Ian, you're a consistent role player. Tupartas, in and of himself, is a delight. I loved the third person. I don't know. He really does kind of. I see. I know you. So you do this a lot. You like to play the kind of rosy-cheeked, very sweet and kind person that has this, that hides an interior that is completely different. Which, again, it's a joy to see you portray another excellently written character.
Thank you.
Rob, there is clearly so much of yourself in Anouk. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's bold and it's ballsy. Anouk himself is a delight, but you seem to pour so much emotion into Anouk, and I love it. I appreciate it. I hope to meet more people like you in my experiences with this game. Uh, Devin, you were made to play wizards. I think I'm convinced that yeah. I mean, wizards are my favorite class in D&D, but you exemplify it. Ileana is again a well-written character, someone with obvious layers that I didn't get to see much of. I kind of regret that, but I will continue watching. But yeah, you kind of exemplify the wizard in her. It's incredible. I like it. As I do want to commend you specifically for very bold choices you made in the last couple of sessions. It's very difficult decision to come to with something you created. The time I did know Tempart, they were impressively stubborn, which again, it's consistency in character work. But you are a very bold role player, and I appreciate it. I'm emotionally exhausted, so I'm not going to compliment myself if that's okay with everybody.
On your last one, bro?
Harlan was made to be an asshole. Because I'm an asshole.
Oh, shush.
You guys are great. Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing what you're doing and keep doing it. I like that I was able to fit in. I'll bounce it over to Rob.
Unless Ian wants to go so he can go to bed.
Sorry, Ian. Yeah, you're also on the East Coast. Ian, go.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm falling asleep, so I will. I mean, obviously, Kimber, we're going to miss you tremendously. You've been a wonderful guest to have on, so thank you. Specifically, I want to shout out today, Coda, because the way you look at mechanics is so unique and so free form that in a way that I haven't really experienced myself since I was a beginning D&D player as well, and it's just phenomenal. You are so intelligent in the way that you make your decisions and the way you make your role play like activities, and just you trying to bite yourself in polymorph to be like, oh, I'm going to take down that 1 point of damage because you have this singular goal in mind, and you're going to do everything you can to make it reality, and you do a fucking good job of it. And everything there to like all of your bear forms and everything today, and having fun with your invisibility and wondering what would happen with chaos and law colliding together, on top of even just being like, no matter what happens, you're still constantly in character, to the point where after you try to kill all your friends, one of our friends died, a whole bunch of shit has just gone on, you finally are okay, God just knee barred somebody in the face, and you turn into a dog and hide under the tail because you're disappointed in yourself, and it's just so fucking good. You're so funny. You were so good at this game, and you were such a joy to play with.
Thanks, man.
You bet, dude. For myself, I was really happy with a lot of what Tepartos did today. I'm very sad he couldn't achieve everything he wanted to, and that might be what I say, is that I had to deal with defeat. At the end of the day, Tepartos has always wanted to rely on himself and be able to keep everybody up as much as possible. And while teamwork is important, kind of similar to Lysander, he takes a lot of stuff upon himself, and having to get to a point where there was nothing left that he could do, get to that place of hopelessness where his friends were killing each other, others had literally died, and there was this ultimate evil staring him down in the face that he knew was stronger than him, having to ask his god for help, and also having the capacity to do so and achieving it was really big for me, and I think a very big character moment going forward. And I really enjoyed the roleplay that came out of it. Yeah. I'll popcorn it over to Devin and Az because I know they also wanted to go closer to the beginning.
I can go first. I would like to compliment Devin. You've always been an excellent strategist, and today, even though just briefly, you let it shine through. And I'm very proud of you for that. I know it's something you enjoy doing, and I want you to continue doing that moving forward. My compliment for myself is that I did a lot of damage. I didn't save anything. I just threw everything out that I could. And it went well.
I guess I'm gonna do like 3-1 overarching for Alex. This is just so well done. I like just the outside combat with like the groups of like your commanding people and HP is just people dropping, but then feeling it was fun. It was really good. Really challenging too. Like there was a couple of moments too where it's like, wow, there's a lot of these things coming down on us right now. Like we got some really good damage rolls, and I think that's the only reason why we got through that without like more casualties. And then the whole fight inside too, it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I like TV with where the like character's mental state right now is and what we know about TV. I expected TV to just go in and try to like get killed, like go in and like swing a dagger or whatever. But they really, like sat back and like used their brain. They shot, when they were too far ready for the bombs. They threw the magic missile before dropping the smoke bombs. And I really like. I keep kind of mirroring what they said. And, I really what they did, like strategy wise, during both fights. I mean, the third one is a quick one. I like when Tumult tried to tell Olan telepathically to don't trust everybody. They are controlled and everything. That was a good moment. For myself, I guess just sticking true to Ileana's role playing. In the beginning, like she wouldn't wanna like. She's still young, so she's not confident in herself yet. So she doesn't want to like push whatever she like thinks is the right idea. So just kind of mention it casually and then hope people like listen. And I think I played that pretty well. Like I just kind of raised my hand and just yeah, this is what I think, and then like nothing after that. And I don't know. I just like where Ileana's going, like with her character. We'll popcorn it to Lysander.
Perfect. I'm also going to give mine to Az as well. I know this is your last session with us, and I am grateful for all the time that you have chose to play with us. And what a way to go out with Tempard. Just them going into this battle knowing it was their final day, one way or the other, even before making the decision to move on. You moved on from your character, and they went full bore, no holds bar. I will do everything to make this successful, and I will put everything into my last day. And that was amazing to see. So very well done on that. For Lysander, man, this was a session I felt powerful. Like full paladin might coming through in this of beautifully timed crits and solid strategy, and it was also a heavy session for Lysander. I knew stuff coming into this because I wrote it into my family's backstory, but just that final moment with Dandelion, I think Lysander was going, like the second Tepartos dropped, Lysander was going to put his rage aside and go pick up Tepartos and leave. But the second it succeeded, I had to double down and was like, he took someone away from me and then taunted me for it. So I think the decision to attack in that moment was very true to Lysander as well. And I'm proud of that. I will bump it to Coda.
I was actually going to compliment Anouk and Tumult. I thought both had some really good plays to work against and for us. Tumult contacting Olon when we got turned against everybody was super smart. And that was a really good play. And then I don't know how I forgot. I completely forgot Nook had polymorph. I just knew somehow immobilize me, please. I hated it. I knew this moment was coming, and I'd already just killed 2 people. I was like, please stop me. The polymorph was so clutch. I was like, thank God I'm a rat. I can't do shit as a rat. It's like fantastic. I couldn't even hurt myself. And then for myself, as much as I hated it, I think I played Garagak pretty well and doing what Garagak does. Because the deal was I forgot all of you, and the only friend I really had was Dandelion. So I basically had to treat it just like I treat when anyone hurts any of you. So it sucked. But I think I played it out pretty well. I did what I had to do. And I guess I'll throw it to Anook.
Going at the tail end of these things, and I know Tumult probably the same because they're going to go after me, but it's really hard to come up with something new because everybody else has pretty well hit all the points that I've already wanted to make. As I think we switched places today. You played brilliantly. You made good choices. You used everything to your advantage that you possibly could. And I think you did a brilliant job with that. So thank you for doing that. I'm sorry that this is your last episode with us, at least as Temp Bard. You know, maybe you could be a guest star down the road or something. Um, for myself, I came into this overconfident, and I had a lot of plans, and I had a backup plan, and I had an escape plan. And Dandelion threw a big wrench into all of that, and I was left scrambling, and I held back a lot in this combat. I think I only used like 3 spells total and 2 polymorph, or not 2 polymorphs. My 2 wild shapes. Um, so I held back a lot, and I think it was the right choice for a Nook, and the choice to leave after the battle was also he's dealing with his feelings, and I think that's how a Nook would do it is just to go be in nature and his home. And I sticking to the character because they, like I said, they're feeling a lot of emotions right now, and they're gonna go deal with that on their own how they know how. So I compliment myself for sticking to the character. Zach?
I don't think there's enough time for me to compliment what I wanted to compliment today. So I'll put it in the chat for everyone later. And as I'll send you a special one as well. Thank you so much for being with us for almost a year now for when you had joined. I know you joined towards the end of Nightstone, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been fun. Just learning about the Temp Clan little by little as we did things, and you keep bringing up a little bit more of this backstory that you came up with and the awesomeness that of the thought process that was put in. And as everyone else has said, like today you just went off, like you just full sent. You just said, all right, this is it. I know the deal that I made, and no one else knows it. And you just put it all out there, everything you possibly could. And it was really fun to watch and fun to be a part of. So thank you. And I guess for me, I hated today for Tumult. I really thought going into the battle that Alex was going to get me and Garagak before we sieged Grootog and kind of like make us mindless slaves to where we work with you for a little bit, but then when we go to Chief Guh, we're supposed to help Chief Guh. Like I was big expecting him to get with us early, and be like, hey, you're gonna hold back in the first part or whatever, and you're gonna really go off later when this happens. I really thought that was coming up because it just seemed too important to not. I'm glad it came after I wasted everything I possibly could. And he said Dandelion showed up, it was late, and then we killed the simulacrum, and I was like, I just need to use things. So I just started dumping things. I drank the potion early because it's like, even if I use it, it's good for a minute until I hit something. Like I've used it. It's something I would do. I was trying to use my resources, fearing that something would happen because my promise was a little bit different than Garrigax. Mine was, I didn't necessarily forget everything about you. I forgot everything friendly about you. You became literal mortal enemies to everything I stand for. You were the people that killed my friends and family, and Dandelion saved me from you. So it was hard. So I knew all of your names. I knew a little bit of what you could do, and I had to stop it. So I think I did it pretty good, but it hurt. So, and then to Kimber, thank you for being a guest star and having fun and creating a little dynamic between us. I'm glad I got the last word in. So,
well, you did give him a sending stone, so we'll see about that.
yeah,
That's true.
We'll see where this 6 months comes up with, because to be honest, I didn't think I was going to live through it, knowing that he still had that card on the table. It was either going to take us with him or something else was going to happen. So now I've really got to think of what I want to do for these next 6 months. And so, Alex, that goes to you. Thank you for doing what you do, man.
I'm pretty straightforward with you guys at pretty much every turn. About, like, if I know an encounter is going to be harder than other ones, I usually, like, I shouldn't, right? I should let you guys just do the thing, but I usually give you guys a relatively fair warning. And with this one, I really didn't, at least not to the extent of what happened. But in all reality, I planned on Garagak and Tumult leaving today. I planned on those characters going off and working for Dandelion and sitting down with Coda, sitting down with Zach, and being like, all right, what's next? And we had discussions early on when those deals were made that was, if this card gets pulled, that's the character. That's it. That's the agreement that you're making right now to bring him back now, knowing that later this card could get pulled. They both agreed. There wasn't mostly for folks at home. That wasn't just a thing that I decided. That we had talked about it previously for sure. But yeah, Zach, you were dead on. Your character was not supposed to continue after this, but now you are. So good, well done. You can say it along with me. I'm gonna try to make this brief. It never works. Ian, I know you're not used to me saying your name first in a while. Ian, I always give you props for your role play and for sticking to your character when you're making decisions and doing those things. But today, I think Ian was my favorite part of your playing. You played Tapartos well. I'm not saying you didn't by any means. You always play your character phenomenally. Every time we've interacted in a role-playing situation at all, you always do a phenomenal job. But today there was a lot of Ian reacting to things. There was a lot of you shining through Tapartos. And it highlighted the thing that all D&D players do, which is putting yourself into your character to a capacity. There's not a single person that doesn't do that to some extent, at least not when they're first starting. And I'm not saying you're first starting. Obviously, I know that you're not. But I think this is one of the first days that, with everything happening and everything going on, there was just it was watching Ian processing things and watching Ian trying to figure out how to be in that character and maintaining that. And you did an amazing job. It was this was probably my third favorite episode of Tapartos. Very well done.
Thank you.
There is so much. So I always try to keep people right. Like I always try to like pick like the highlight moment, bring somebody up, make everything. But there isn't one today. Just so you're all very much aware. Like everyone did a phenomenal job today. Dash, I had a mild concern for today that because I've known you for as a role player for the entire time I've known you. We met playing D&D essentially. And you've never metagamed, but today, knowing that all of your friends' lives were on the line and with everything going on, I was waiting for that slip.
Especially for context, I got a message from Alex earlier today, be like, "Hey, no reason. Did you ever draw a dandelion?"
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't mind this to come across as me doubting you. So please don't take it in that regard. I was just waiting for that reactionary slip of the tongue, for that moment of I'm gonna let this slide a little bit. I'm gonna get some of that information out, and it never came. And so today my compliment for you is your dedication. You play your character and you play D&D like a goddamn champion. Very well done in that regard. I'm also you deserve an absolute shit ton of recognition. And I don't like people hear me say all the time is like, yeah, Dash does so much for this show, but I don't think anybody understands what's happening here. I DM, I write the story, I come up with neat NPCs, and I improv a bunch. Every other thing that happens for this show is Dash. The editing, the all of the character token art, an entire map for me today on the fly because I was just hitting a wall and had no idea what to do. None of this, absolutely none of this would happen if it was not for you. And you deserve all the credit in the world. Also, people at home, do the YouTube, crush it, algorithm stuff, so that we can pay Dash for doing what they're doing. Seriously, I would be lost if it wasn't for you with all of this. So thank you so much. Zach, you did something today that I loved. You did a lot of things today that I really enjoyed, and it was really good things. But there's one thing today that sticks out in my mind that was proof that you are probably a better role player than I am. Right at the end, right when the fight was happening, you had turned sides. You just got away from Departos, and with no coercion, no any prompts from me, you role played your character, having just been brain swapped, on the fly with no effort, with the line you said to your friends, you have one chance. Leave, or you're never going to. My mic was muted. I always mute my mic if I'm not talking for sake for everyone else, but I audibly like gasped at that line. It was so well timed, so well placed, so well done. And I don't think I have ever accomplished anything like that in years of storytelling. I am so incredibly impressed with you. Fucking phenomenal. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. Thank you so much for letting me experience you as a D&D player. Devin. Ileana has been a quiet character in the background for a while. At first, it very much so reminded me of early session days Ivan, where it was you playing and sitting and listening, and I compliment your focus, your intent, your attention to the game all the time. But it was that character that sat back a little bit, that character that took a little bit of time and interjected only when absolutely necessary. But now that you're with Ileana and you're finding that personality and you're finding that way to role play her, she's great. She is so great. calling out a king on his bullshit in the middle of this ridiculous plan to bat. Like, for all you knew, that could have made the king be like, deuces, and just dipped. But you did it anyways, and you stuck to your guns, and it was one of the greatest roleplay moments of the day that stuck out in my mind was that moment, and you coming into your own as Ileana, doing an absolutely fantastic job with it. I am so incredibly excited to see her continue to grow and prosper. Thank you for all of it. Rob. Dude. You're breaking my friggin' heart over here. In the best of ways. It's a compliment. I swear to God, it's a compliment. I gauge if I'm doing a good job off of your face. I know that I did something good if you have a facial reaction to what I just did. Sometimes they're slight, sometimes they're very extreme. And it's all of those things. And today I was sitting here, and I know I kind of got down on myself a little bit throughout it. But I don't even know if you remember this once, but I remember being at your house one of the first times we ever hung out, like outside of Amp setting. And we were talking about D&D and DMing, and it was just like casual conversation. I think we were working on the Lord title for Talos. And you casually mentioned to me it was, if you're DMing and your players are feeling it, then you're doing a good job. And since that conversation, which was like 2 years ago or more, I have lived by those words. I have molded every decision I make in a DM fashion on those words. And your face today kept me from pulling those punches, kept me from going back on my decisions, going back on the things that I had chosen to do for this, because you were feeling something. And that meant that I was doing a good job. So thank you so much for just being a constant D&D and DM inspiration to me. Thank you so incredibly much. Man, I'm getting all teary-eyed today. Fuck. Coda. Holy fucking shit, dude. I give you 6 months before you're the best goddamn D&D player I know. Every week you come out and you get better and better and better. And all of a sudden today, after like serious growth over the last just few weeks alone, you come out of the gate fucking roleplay moments, strategy moments, coming up with mechanic solutions, remembering words I've said months ago to try to use against me, which is good. That's how you know you're doing a good job. But and you never forget. All I said, like right as Dandelion started talking in that last little section, your face, man, right when that happened was like, fuck, no. It was, I had said 2 words, hadn't even like gone into anything, and you pulled it right into your brain and knew exactly what was about to happen. Man, that makes me feel so good inside. I say it every week. I'm going to say it every week. I am so proud of you. You impress me constantly. And every DM you have after me they are the luckiest sons of bitches on the planet, man. For real. Because I am, for sure, that you decided to let me be your first DM experience in D&D. I just hope every week that I'm not letting you down, man, and turning you away, because you're way too good at this. I saved you for last for relatively obvious reasons. Watching you play D&D has been one of the best experiences that I've had as a DM. I know to an extent where your confidence level lies in role playing, and where your confidence lies in those things. And when we first started, it was this Tempard was this character that I had no idea what to do with. I had no idea where to go with, because when I asked for a loose backstory of your character, you gave me an entire pyramid scheme. Fully fledged out, all of this ridiculousness, and it was beautiful. And I showed it off to people of like, look at this shit that my player did. This is insane. And the thing about it was that there wasn't that character. There wasn't the character there. And it took me a really long time to understand what was happening. And I don't even know if this was your intent, but you did the opposite of what I thought you did. You gave me Tempard. You gave me who Tempard was. The thing that Tempard had known their entire life was the Temp clan. That was who Tempard was. That was it. And I'm really sorry it took me so long to figure out what was going on. But you gave me probably the best character, the most creative character that I argue that I've ever seen. And it took me way too long to figure that out. And that is on me, for sure. But you stuck with it, and you made all of these choices with your character, and you did the things your character would have done, and it was chaotic, and it was ridiculous, and I never knew what to expect. And then we spoke a couple days ago about everything going forward, and like there was a time that it was that I wanted to know where you were standing, and it made me worry about today that you were going to be here, but you weren't going to be present. That you wanted to be here for this, but it was just kind of a waiting for it to happen type moment, because we had discussed Tempard's fate previously. But you came here today with the full devotion that you've had the whole time. And then you took that and you doubled down on it, and you played your character so well today. I was fairly confident that it was going to be the same kind of things we've seen from Tempard before. But instead, you are dropping smoke bombs to stop visibility. You are exploding things. You are coming out of the gate, cutting my encounter in half, going no holds barred the whole time. And then at the end, when things were looking grim and things were looking down, you stuck to your character and you reinforced something that you did a while ago that at first I didn't understand. You made a choice to keep your friends safe. In the middle of all of this heated battle, knowing full well, based off Dandelion's words, that Garagak had swapped sides, you went right up to him and said, I'm going to protect my friends. And you started to cast a spell that I never understood your fascination with, Liamon's Tiny Hut. And at that moment, you never have the right again to say that you're not a good role player and that you're not a good character actor. Because you did a phenomenal job today. And you have just proven to us and everybody who ever watches this show that you know what you're doing. But I hope you know that in any context, be it if you come back to play a home game with me, or whatever, I know you can do what you just did. And I sincerely hope that I get to experience that again. Tempard was creative. Tempard was intriguing, unique, all of these things. And it makes me sad that you're not going to get to see them anymore. But it gives me faith not only in you, but in all of these people that have little to no experience in role-playing games, little to no anything, to come out of the gate and do those kinds of things. Thank you so incredibly much for letting me be your DM, for playing this game with us for as long as you did. And I cannot wait until I get to be a DM for you again. Thank you. As for me,
Did you skip Kimber?
I did skip Kimber. Wait
Okay.
for it.
Oh no.
As for me, I made a really fucking cool villain. He is cruel beyond words. He is the amalgamation of my min-maxing brain and my all of my creativity and everything that I could possibly imagine. And I am very proud of him. I will play him in a D&D campaign someday. Just you fucking watch me. It'll happen.
Wish.
You're goddamn right, Quicken Spell Wish. What's up? Use the brain power. It's there. It's all there.
Take
Yes.
notes for my sorcerer.
Oh boy.
Kimber. I got nothing. Go home. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
He is home.
Kimber, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course.
You came into this with expectations, and none of those expectations were met.
No.
And
It was beautiful.
no, it's fine. You can be kind all you want, but I know what the truth is, and that's fine. I approached Kimber and said, "Hey, I do a D&D show. Really great role players, really solid story. Do you want to come be a part of that?" And he was like, "Yes, I do." And then he showed up and he got the most ridiculous shopping episode bullshit of his entire existence and immediately butted heads with one of the characters. And that was the first introduction thing to this game. And you took it for a month and a half, almost 2 months now of playing?
Yep. And I spent 2 months working on Harlan too.
Yes.
Writing him. Yeah.
Yes. Because I gave him ample notice. It wasn't like hey, Sunday, be ready. But I am so incredibly impressed with you.
Oh, come on, man.
You are, in fair regards, new to this. You're not brand new. You've played a couple games. You've done your stuff. But you're sitting at a table with several people who've been doing this for years and years consistently. And you came in and you were fucking killing it from day one. Harlan was intriguing and interesting from the first 3 words out of his mouth, and it never stopped the whole time. And no matter how frustrated you got, and trust me, I could see it, everyone at home could see it, the other players could see it, you were frustrated, but you stuck to your character. You stuck to those guns. You reacted how your character would react. You are a phenomenal role player. I am incredibly grateful that you agreed to come do this. And I am blessed beyond words that I get to play with you once a week still, continuing after this. Yeah. I love Harlan. I love you. You're amazing. Please keep doing this. Just you're very good at it.
Thank you, Alex.
With all of that done, all those words, I didn't do it on the actual episode, but make sure that you follow Kimber's content. Kimber streams. Kimber is gonna stream at Twitch. KIMBER is gonna stream. If you can't spell is gonna stream, well, that's
Something's wrong
fine.
with
It's
you.
ISGONNASTREAM. There you go. I got you. Follow Kimber for all of his more content. He is a phenomenal streamer. He's entertaining. It's lax. It's super chill, and he is like the nicest guy. So support him in that regard as well. Other than that, that's compliments for this week. We did it. We crushed it. It's super fucking late for so many people.
Yeah.
Like it's past our bedtime in Colorado, and we got people in New York right now. So everybody get out of here. Go get some rest. We'll catch you next week for more compliments and more of the dice that bind us.
Goodbye,
Later,
friends.
everybody.